If you are affected somehow by ADHD, either yourself or someone that and you know that you need to do some detoxing, but you're not really sure where to start, then you're going to be in the right place because I'm going to talk kind of the basic bare bone ABCs about detoxing. Hi, my name is Lisa Andy Garcia, and I'm an integrative developmental and educational specialist, and my focus is helping you reverse the learning and behavior challenges that your child is experiencing. In this video, I am going to help you understand how to approach detoxing kind of more from the umbrella perspective. And so we have mentioned in previous videos up to this point, because this is a whole kind of series right now that I've been doing on ADHD, we've talked about the role that toxins are playing in cognitive disorders, like ADHD or anything, because it's basically the underlying factor is neuroinflammation, and therefore it is an accumulation of toxins, metals, chemicals, viruses, etc. And so it stands to reason that detox is going to be a part of your healing strategy. But before you ever embark in anything new, make sure first, stop and always consult your doctor, because they're going to be the ones who know you and your child best, and whatever you're choosing to do is going to be right for your individual body, because everybody's body is different. So my favorite detox strategy to start off with is the Glutathione patch by Lifewave. So if you didn't catch my last video, I would want you to go back to watch it, because I talk about the power of Lifewave patches, but this particular patch is proven to raise your glutathione level up to 300% within the first 24 hours and sustains it. Because glutathione, normally when we take it exogenously, like orally, it has a half-life of 7 minutes. Okay, so it doesn't really last very long. And that's why people who do use glutathione have to take it like often, or high dose, monthly IV glutathione IVs, but even so, it has a half-life of 7 minutes. So so the patch is a way to elevate your glutathione and maintain and sustain it. But again, as I mentioned in the last video, you might have to start slow with this one, with like a couple hours a day, and build up to it for a couple weeks, because if there's a lot of toxins going on and it's going to be immobilizing it, you might kind of feel yucky. Those are Herxheimer's reaction, and those can be uncomfortable. But before you even do this, before you try to stimulate any type of a detox, I want you to make sure that your drains are clear, okay? Because you don't want to be, so let's say you have a really dirty bathtub, and then you turn on the water, you're going to wash it all, but then the drain is plugged up, and then all of a sudden all that dirty water just sits there. Okay, you want to make sure all your drains are clear. So that's going to be all your exit pipes are your stools, and your bowels in your stool, urine, which your kidneys, sweat, lymph, breath, your lungs. Okay, so if these exit strategies are clogged, then toxins can get mobilized and potentially get blocked and recirculate back into the body. So we don't want that. So first, we want to make sure that everything is moving. So first, the most important thing is to make sure your bowels are moving at least once a day, once or twice a day. In order to do that, first consider your hydration. Okay, so we're kind of going easy to hardest. Hydration, increasing your fiber. You can take vitamin C to bowel tolerance. So taking a lot of vitamin X, like a high dose vitamin C, can make you have looser stools. So, you can judge how much vitamin C you need for that. Magnesium citrate does the same thing. So not all magnesiums are the same. So magnesium citrate is good for the gut. Magnesium sulfate is Epsom salt. You can... Usually the bags will have like what to do for bowels and constipation. I'm going to tell you that it tastes terrible. It's extremely bitter, but it's very effective. So I have done it. So if it's more important to get your bowels moving than what you're tasting at the moment, you just drink it and then just follow it with clear water. Or you can use bowel moving herbs. So I have two formulas or companies that I really love. My first favorite is Bowel Mover by cellcore.com, and the link is going to be in the description along with my practitioner code, so you can order because it's practitioner only. And it's a natural digestive aid that gently promotes bowel movement, supports intestinal health, peristalsis, which is that movement of that inner muscle movement, and proper digestive function. It has 12 herbs and botanicals in this blend, including clove bud, fennel seed, garlic bulb, senna leaf, and wormwood. So they're formulated in specific ratios for maximum efficacy, and they work together to increase water absorption in the stool and promote normal digestive, intestinal, and stomach function. So that was their description. It's also formulated with carbon technology, which is their proprietary blend of fulvic acid and polysaccharides that support cellular repair and the body's natural ability to detoxify. So with the low pH, carbon technology helps protect ingredients from being digested by the stomach acid so that they remain intact as they enter the desired location in the body. So that's always important, that whatever you're trying to get into your lower intestine, you want to make sure it can survive the stomach acid. That's kind of sometimes the big problem. Okay, my second favorite is, and I don't mean like in order, I just have two favorites, and that was first, and this one is another one, Mega Guard by Microbiome Labs, and that link is also in the description along with my practitioner code for that company. Oh, and I didn't write out a whole description on that one, but that one has some really good herbs as well. So you can just go on there and look. I didn't cut and paste their description. I thought I had. Also, kidneys can be cleaned with water. So we talked about the bowels. So we have kidneys, so you need, a lot of good water. You know that like cranberry juice or cranberries, water is good. I make my own cranberry water. I just take the cranberries, I boil them. When they pop, I just drain the water, and then I dilute that because that's concentrated. But also chlorella. Chlorella is really good for cleaning out the kidneys. And then there's other herbs such as Dr. Christopher's kidney formula or anything with juniper berry, because that's going to be what's going to be good for kidneys. Dr. Christopher also has a lymph formula called INFX, which is like infection, so INFX. And he also has lung and bronchial formula as well. So I love Dr. Christopher's brand for stuff. For the bowels, I found that the other two ones were a little bit more effective. You didn't have to take so many capsules. But his kidney formula, or like I say, anything with juniper berry, lymph, lung, bronchial, and he even has blood formula, so that's really good when you have to purify your blood, and that has red clover, so anything with red clover is kind of targeted for that. Okay, so that was just to get your drains open, but doing anything to stimulate a detox, make sure that you get some binders on board. Okay, so before, first you want to open the drains, but before you do something to provoke a detox, get some binders. So a binder is something that grabs onto the toxin and escorts it out of the body, and it's usually through the bowels or the kidneys. And different binders grab onto different things. So for example, activated charcoal is one that you may have heard most often, or not, but it's you can get it in capsule or powder. That is great for like food poisoning or something really acute. You're like really sick right now. Just know that it binds to the good minerals as well, so you don't want to take that long term. So that's more like, take it for a few days because something's going on. But that's a type of binder. And then there's also clays. And I'm not a clay expert, so if you like clays, just kind of bentonite clay, just kind of look around. I have clay in my house, but I don't usually use it. I use other things. Microbiomes Mega IgG 2000. It's a binder for that one, specifically binding foreign antigens like molds, viruses, bacteria, lipopolysaccharides, which is like the waste that our bad bacteria is excreting. Bacteria excretes. Good bacteria excretes good waste that's beneficial, and bad bacteria excretes LPS, which is really inflammatory, especially in our brain, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier. C. diff and H. pylori. Those are all things that the IgG 2000 will bind to, and it kind of sweeps up all the debris, like when you kill things, and it just sweeps up all the debris. It also halts the immune system response, or the immune response, and it's great, especially when there's an immune flare-up. So if any of you are watching and you are, let's say you have had problems with Lyme and you have a flare-up or any type of an immune flare-up, celiac or whatever, then this is going to be good because it's going to really like dampen that flare-up. Chlorella is an overall great binder, and especially it's also good for mercury, but it binds to a lot of things. And chlorella is good because it's a food and it's amino acids, and it's really good. The one thing about chlorella is it can be constipating, so just make sure you're having a lot of water with it, because you don't want to be taking the binder but then plugging up the drain at the same time. Zeolite is good for aluminum and other positively charged metals. And NDF Plus by BioRay, I love this one because it's a blend of a bunch of binders, but it's a simple dropper, but it's a good blend of a bunch of binders, and I've seen some really good stuff. I knew somebody who like totally got off of lead, got all their lead out from that one. And that one's by BioRay. That one's going to be on my Fullscript. I have a Fullscript dispensary account where all the practitioner grade supplements are on, and so you can find anything, first look there. All the Dr. Christopher stuff is going to be on Amazon, but I'll put links to the ones that I mentioned. Now that we cleared the drains and we have our binders on board, and now we're ready to stimulate the detox, which is like mobilizing. And I'm just giving you there are a lot of different ways to do this, but just in general, for a lot of you, just putting the binders on might be all you need to do, okay? Because you're getting the binders, you have toxins going around, you're getting the toxins and you're moving them out, especially if you have that IgG 2000, and you might not need anything else but just that, maybe another binder. But toxins are stored in the fat, okay? Our metals and our chemicals, they're stored in fat, and our brain is a big ball of fat. But our fat all over our body. So if you were to lose weight, so let's say you are doing something to lose weight, you're going to a sauna, you're exercising, or whatever you're doing, when your fat cells, when, I don't know if they dissolve or what they actually do, but they can release your toxins. So you do need to know that whenever you're doing anything like that, you could feel yucky, which is Herxheimer reaction, which is just the reaction because your toxins are moving around. So just make sure you have your binders on board. So weight loss can help promote a release of toxins. Also, parasites eat your toxins. So sometimes people are really toxic, and if they have a lot of parasites, their parasites could be keeping them alive. So if you ever want to do a parasite cleanse, you better make sure you have binders on board, because those parasites, when they die, they're going to release your toxins. So you have to make sure you're ready to get those toxins out. Drinking lemon water, something simple like that can help stimulate a detox. An ionic foot bath, if you have access to an ionic foot bath, it's great for immobilizing, especially aluminum, okay? Also, fulvic and humic acid by Cellcore is great for that as well. So fulvic and humic acid in the biotoxin, I think it's in there, but they have different products. So they have that use fulvic and humic acid. And then wild garlic gets kidneys to excrete toxins. So those are different things. Now, if you are working with a naturopath or a practitioner, like let's say you have a child who is ASD and you have an autism specialized doctor, or if you're just working with like a functional medicine, you might see things like using DMSA or EDTA. Actually, EDTA is over the counter, but DMSA is a prescription. And so those are some more advanced. There's, of course, more complicated strategies and advanced strategies, but just putting binders, drinking some lemon water, maybe doing some ionic foot baths, or start, if you're not exercising, using a sauna. All those things can promote mobilization. So if all of this seems really complicated, let's go back to the beginning and just keep it simple and just start with the glutathione patch, okay? Glutathione patch with extra water, maybe add a binder, okay? And or just start really slow with the glutathione patch, and then that you'll start to see some pretty good effects. Okay, so in the description below, I'm gonna put my link again, so where to find the glutathione patch. And I will also put links for some of the products that I mentioned in case you want to explore those as well. And until next time, we make sure that you subscribe so you know when I post the next video.